Following is a production of Locked Up Sports.
Everybody, this is Don LaGreca from the Michael K. Show. When it comes to talking sports, Bob Walters and Brett Grasso are the authority.
Can't wait.
When it comes to talking sports, they're the authority. It's Bob Walters and Brett Grasso. It's Locked Up Sports, and it starts now.
Bring them out, bring them out, hey. Bring them out, bring them out, yo. Bring them out, bring them out, hey. Bring them out.
Here we go. Bob Walters, Brett Grasso from the Brian Gunzel Studios. This is Locked Up Sports. Week 7 in the NFL gets underway today. Game 6s in both the ALCS and NLCS. And are the Houston Astros, if they win this year, better than the New York Yankees? Brett, what is up? Welcome to the show. How you doing? We could hear each other this week, Brett.
This is nice. I like this. You know?
Yeah, I told everybody it was great. It was the best show we've ever done.
You know what? It's messed up. We had a good show last week, and it was just two guys sitting in an attic talking to each other. That's really what it was.
Now, I want to start today, Brett. We have some sad news. I didn't mention it to you because I wanted to get your immediate reaction. We have lost a member. We've lost a member of the Locked Up Sports community, and I have it right here. And just prepare yourself for this. We lost him, Brett. He lost a leg. It's Bob Usler.
Oh my God! I thought you were gonna say Bob Usler died. I was like, oh my God.
No. But no, a human Bob Usler is fine.
I was like, I feel like he's not upset about this.
He lost an arm. He lost a leg. He fell off.
Buddy?
I dropped him.
Buddy?
No, it was me. It was me. Well, listen, at the trial, I'm going to blame it on the cat, but here it was, in all honesty, because it's nothing but truth here, he was killed by me.
Little crazy glue.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we could glue him together, but it'll never be the same, Brett. He'll never walk again with his leg like this, missing this part of his leg. So we had tonight we have a game 6 in the ALCS. You got the Astros, who were dead and buried down, losing first 2 at home. Then they go into Texas and they win 3 in a row. Now it's back to Houston for a game 6. You got the other series, which was the NLCS, which was the exact opposite until last night. The road team finally won. The Phillies won. I think the Phillies are going to win that series. I was surprised that it's even gotten to this point. But now, not last night, but the night before, we had one of the all-time great nights in postseason baseball. I mean, the home runs, Altuve hitting the 3-run homer, and then in the NLCS, the Phillies blowing the lead, Kimbrel blowing the lead, giving up a long home run. Well, what did you watch? You watched those games, obviously. I know I was talking to you during them. What are your thoughts on?
Honestly, what I saw was Verlander giving up that big home run in the 6th inning, and he just looked crushed after that one. And just like we've seen it before. Like him and even Scherzer and guys like that, they'll pitch. They'll be lights out, but they're one pitch away. They tend later in their careers to give up the big home run, which they used to not do. It's one pitch away. But let me tell you, for Altuve at the end of that game to step up, and it's just like it's just incredible because every time you're like, nah, he's no way he can pull it off again. There's no way. We've watched enough games where it doesn't happen, and the guy just pulls it off. Like
he's one of the all-time great. He's one of the all-time great second basemen. And you know what? And I don't care about it's not that I don't care about the cheating thing, but it's in the past. He's done it enough times without the cheating thing. He can get up there and lay a bunt down if you need it. And then he has a flair for the dramatic with the 3-run home runs and the big home runs over and over and over again. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
And it's not even about what he does in the regular season, which he does. He's not just, it's that he comes up when it's the most clutch time, when it's the most important, when it's the postseason. It's these guys, you've seen so many other guys just flounder when it comes to this time of year. And some guys just hit that next level. Bryce Harper's another guy. Kyle Schwarber has shown that out of nowhere, he's the new Reggie Jackson. It's incredible.
Yeah, but Bryce Harper didn't. Bryce Harper didn't do it when he was a member of the Nationals. He was bad. He was known as bad in the postseason.
I know, but it shows you what a change of scenery, and depending where you are, and that's why I look. I go, if you send Altuve to a different team, is he the same guy? Does he have that same like? It's not always the same. Like you've seen it. Like some guys just fit in a certain spot in a certain role, and they just thrive. But they, to step up in those spots, where would you'd be shaking in your boots if you stood up in that spot? You know how hard it is to focus and let alone wait for the right pitch and just absolutely crush it. Like,
they're great players. They're great players. The great players, and a lot of times the great players don't have good postseasons. A lot of times it's the nobody that comes up. Todd Pratt, for example, if you go with the Mets.
Definitely.
Well, something like that.
The guy from the Diamondbacks who hit his home run.
The guy from the Diamondbacks. And the fact that we are both calling him the guy from the Diamondbacks.
I like it. That's it. I don't even need to worry about it. And you all know what we're talking about.
And he hit another home run last night. He homered last night. Now, here's the thing with these two. First of all, any Met fan in America could have told you that was going to happen at the sixth inning. We all know Verlander's a 5-inning pitcher at this point, right? So we all know that. Second of all, Texas, the Rangers and Bruce Bochy, I'm guilty of it too. Everyone's getting all Bruce Bochy, great manager, this and that. Look what he's doing with this team. How do you start Max Scherzer in Game 3? He's been out a month. 2 months almost. He pitched one simulated game. He said he's okay. We all know he's a jerk. We all know he's a self-centered guy who just wants to pitch for himself. He says he's okay. They throw him out there, and he gets shelled in Game 3, and that's where the series turned. Because if they take a 3-0 lead, and they didn't play bad. It was just Scherzer pitched bad. If they take a 3-0 lead, that series is over, and we don't even have a Game 6 tonight. That's a huge mistake pitching Scherzer. I know he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, but you can't throw him there off one simulated game out a month. And he's been bad all year. He was bad for the Mets. That's terrible.
He pitched okay for them up until the moment he got hurt. He was actually pitching well. But you are right. It's very difficult to know what you're going to get out of him. But isn't it? It's almost harder for a guy like him. They would second guess him even more if they pitch anybody else but Scherzer. Scherzer's available. You say, you know what? We're going to go with anybody else. And they lose that game. He is going to get roasted 10 times more than starting.
No, I don't think so. I think you're wrong.
Matter? Is that when do you start Scherzer then? You just don't start him then? You just let him ride for the postseason?
I would, to be honest with you.
First game.
To be honest with you, yeah, you're right.
Game 3 somewhere. There is a point you got to go for it now. Then no. The question is the next time, if you get one with Scherzer, do you start?
I wouldn't throw him. No, I would. And here's what he thought, because I'll tell you exactly what he thought. Okay, we're up 2-0. We're going home. I have a game to play with. That's what he thought. Let me start him here. He's thinking what you were saying. And he said, I got a game to play with. Let me start him. If he stinks and we lose, okay, we're still up 2-1. We're still at home. We just got to take one of these games, and they ended up losing all 3. Now they're in a 3-2 hole, heading back to Houston tonight. And you got Nathan Eovaldi pitching. He's pitched well. He's 3-0 in this postseason, 2.29 ERA, and he's going against Faber Valdez. I give the pitching advantage to the Rangers tonight, but who knows with this series? And these now have turned out, for what looked like it was going to be 2, 4, 5 game series, have now turned out to be really good series. I do think Philadelphia is going to win Game 6 going home. That place is a madhouse. I think the Phillies are going to win. I think the Phillies are going to probably end up playing Houston now. I like to see them play the Rangers, but I think they end up playing Houston, and Houston's going to be going for a 3-peat. Now, my question to you is, the last dynasty, the 3-peat was the Yankees in baseball, right? That was the last baseball dynasty of the Yankees. Is this Houston team better or worse, but better than the 90s Yankees? I think if they win this World Series, they are better than the 90s Yankees.
It's so hard to compare those two teams and those two times.
Yeah, besides the 98 team, besides the 98 team, they never won 100 games.
You know what the Yankees don't have? They'll never be tarnished the way that it'll never be the same. The Astros will always have the asterisk for that year, that no matter what they do and no matter how much they win, the 96 or the 90s Yankees or that team they are who they are because they were likable. This part of it is because they were if you looked at them, people loved Jeter and they loved that they were just they were like America's team at the time.
No, I disagree with that. First of all, they were likable.
Where the Astros are like the enemy. And that's why, you're right. Maybe it is, but they'll never be looked at the same way. Maybe they are.
I completely disagree. You think now to me and you, it's different. We're the wrong people to be having this
We look at
discussion.
it
But
where the Mets
no,
fans-
we
no,
were
you look at the
yes, but
they love
were they were likable in '96.
People love Mariano. They love Derek Jeter. The average fan just started wearing Yankee caps. You don't understand. Like everywhere else in this country, it was like, oh, you're a Yankee. It was the bandwagon. It was the Cowboys of when we were in the '90s, when our friends were wearing Cowboy starter jackets, as if they even cared about the Cowboys at all. We saw it in New York, so we had the "We hate you" where like whatever. But I'm telling you, they're.
You don't think they're known as the evil empire?
Back.
Evil empire. They're not the evil empire around the country.
It's not,
that came
for the same reason. You know why? It's because they were so good, not because they were such asses, not because they did things wrong.
Of course.
I know, but I don't. I do see it with with the Astros being right up there. I think they're comparable, like
right
neck
there.
and neck with the '90s Yankees. But I don't know. Maybe I have a soft spot.
And here's where we're gonna get again. Here's where you're gonna get, because first of all, right now, if you ask any Yankee fan, they say that Houston's not even a dynasty, right? And then because they'll say they didn't win 3 in a row. Okay, so now when they win this one, let's say they win, 2 weeks from now, they win this one. They're gonna, you know what they're gonna say? They're gonna say they still haven't won 3 in a row because the first one don't count. So there's no winning the argument. It's like arguing politics with somebody.
But there isn't. But the Yankees argument for that dynasty back then is over. There is no more arguing. There is no more adding to that argument. Whereas right now, the Astros might be in the middle of it. We don't even know if this is it. Like, we understand Altuve is not going to go on forever, and Verlander's only got one more season in him. I mean, 2 if he could pitch, maybe 2 more. I don't even think so. But the whole thing is they could win this year. They could win next year. They could win the year after. And let me tell you, they're on the edge of where we might be laughing and saying, "Oh, it's the Astros and it's nobody else." So you're right.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, listen,
we don't have an ending. We don't have an ending to this story.
Now you're talking like Islanders type situation, like 4 in a row, 5 like Steelers.
No, you are right. I don't see that happening based on how baseball's set up today, with how many teams are going to be in the playoffs and how hot they have to be to get there.
It's all about getting hot at the right time, because look at the Dodgers and the Braves were clearly the best team.
Well, and how you can change what your team looks like in any given year. And now that baseball comes down to being a place that wins and has a winning culture, and people want to come to, because that people now want to go to Houston. You know what I mean? People want to go to the Yankees. That's why the Yankees continue to be good. People didn't want to go to the Mets. The average guy who's the midline, base salary or somewhere in the couple $1 million range, that guy has the choice to go wherever. He's a good utility player. And the best players scoop up the best guys, and they go to where they want to go. They don't want to go to the Mets. So the Astros have set themselves up where they can continue this run because people want to play there.
Yeah, but they're getting old. I mean, you got Berkman's getting old. You got Altuve's getting old.
But it's going to be new guys coming in. You're right, but they're going to keep the core. Let me tell you, Altuve is a small guy where if he's not injury prone, there's no reason he doesn't put up the exact same numbers next year as he did this year.
Is Altuve the best second baseman that we've ever seen in our lifetime? I think so, right? Because who else is there?
It's not. There's nobody, because second baseman, like even him, like he's a freak. Where this guy's 5'7" hitting a home run last night. Like that's
what about Robbie Alomar?
Yeah, he's close, but he never got to put up the numbers. If you look, it's postseason. It comes down to Robbie Alomar. If you put him in the same number of postseason games as Altuve, his numbers would be a third less, because Altuve is just a freak in these postseason games. And that's why Altuve is Altuve. If he did everything he did, but he was Mike Trout and never made it to the playoffs, we wouldn't even be talking about him right now.
No, I agree.
I didn't even know. He would be a Francisco Lindor. That's great. A great guy, big contract, got it all. But no, let me tell you, it all comes down to where you are. And if you don't put yourself in the playoffs in your career, you're a nobody. That's how it's become now. If you don't get multiple playoff seasons, like Schwarber, he's got the most home runs for any lefty to ever have postseason games or whatever it is.
But they play a lot more postseason games now.
That's the answer. Is they're comparing these stats now in the postseason of how many games you've played or whatever. Now it's games where if you're not in the postseason, your career, you didn't even get a career. Your career is the postseason now. Like you need.
But don't forget that
you're not.
They used to just play the World Series.
I know. No, they
forever.
They didn't even exist. When they start talking about numbers, if you look at how many, I understand in this many games, they show this guy got this many home runs or how many bats. But these guys.
Bryce Harper has the same amount of. Bryce Harper has tied for the Phillies record for most postseason home runs ever. and he's done it. I forget who's number one, but he's done it in 12 less going.
Two-thirds.
Like
Yeah, it's
two-thirds of the
incredible.
games.
It's a ton. It's crazy. Like, it's incredible how good these guys are. And it's gonna, honestly, they're gonna get better with the computer strike zone coming and all the other stuff when they can actually have a real zone that's not some guy determining where is a ball and where is a strike. Let me tell you, it's gonna be an explosion of offense over the next 10 years. It is coming.
It's all home runs. It's kind of
Pitchers.
I'm not going to say it's not good. It's all home runs.
Yeah, I'm telling you, pitchers are going to be. It's going to be batting practice coming up soon. There's going to be the great pitchers. They're still going to exist, and they're going to be. There's not going to be many of them, but there's going to be a lot of just 4 or 5 inning pitchers. That's all we're going to get the rest of our careers. And
before Real Muto
strike zones anymore.
Before Real Muto hit the home run late yesterday in like the 8th inning or whatever, the Phillies had hit 16 consecutive solo home runs, which means nobody gets on base before them. It's all, if you think about this postseason, and it's been good. It's gotten good, real good lately, the last 3 or 4 days. It's all home runs. Nobody scores any other way.
No,
it's all home runs.
Walks, stolen bases, and forcing more on the offense. You've seen when they do get on base, there's been a lot more action on the base pass. Have you saw like Harper with the double steal?
Yeah, they did the Little League play.
Right. But that's and even getting to second. No matter who you are, when you're on first now, there's your goal is to get on to second base. It was never. There's just I do like where it's going and the direction baseball is going. But you're right. The numbers are going to be so skewed in the postseason compared to any amount of games that anybody else ever played. It's going to be more and more. They will expand the postseason probably even further into more games, whether or not be more teams. And I'm not against it. I enjoyed watching it this baseball season. I think it's going well now. I think the underdog teams are getting a better shot. That proven that the second half of the season, you can have a bad first half. You can be the hottest team in the second half, and it's not for nothing. You're getting in the playoffs, even if you blew it, and you are the hottest team. And that's important. This whole people whose seasons were over in July, and the All-Star game was the last thing you got to watch with your team that it mattered, is now over with in baseball. The bottom teams, we know who's not going to make it. It's pretty obvious. And those teams had no indication of trying to make the playoffs. But
now, what do you think?
In the middle, like the average fan can actually watch. How many people didn't even get to watch a playoff game for their team in their whole freaking lives? That's disgusting.
Now, did you what do you think about, a lot of people have a problem now with the bye, because look at the only team to survive the bye was the Astros. You had the Orioles who were out quick. You had the Braves and the Dodgers all out after getting the bye, having huge regular seasons.
You know what?
I don't have a problem with it.
No, I'm all for the bye, but I see now when we kind of get back to when we talked about I want to have longer series in those early series. I see now why they don't, because they don't want it to drag on.
You can't have this thing go into the middle of November.
No, but it's not even for how long it drags on for that. But that first team that is on a bye, that means they wouldn't have played a baseball game in like 10 days.
Yeah, and I get it, and that's going to be a problem.
A meaningful one in 20.
Yeah, but that's
not
right.
Good. That's not
right,
good.
The Braves,
a lot of resting.
You got about 20
a lot of gaps. What?
Brett, the Braves didn't play a meaningful game since May.
That's what I mean. No, you're right. I know. That's what I mean.
That's part of the problem. Braves had this thing wrapped up in June.
No.
They were 10, 15 games up in the division. They had it wrapped up in June. Now,
and they spent the second half of the year at the club in the NATL. They're in Atlanta at the club.
Yeah,
those last 2 months, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we got to get into this again."
And and also now, I don't have a problem with it. I think people are just going to bitch and moan no matter what, regardless, because everybody bitched and moaned when they had the single elimination game, right? Oh, it's 162 games. How do you get knocked out in one game? This and that. And now they're bitching and moaning because they get a week off. So people they're not going to be happy no matter what. What do you want them to play? They can't play 4 rounds. They can't have it be the NHL playoffs where they play into December. That's what people want it to be. You got to end this thing. It's an outdoor game. You can't be playing in the snow. You're not going to get a true champion then. I think I like it. And I don't like the one game elimination, because it's not the NCAA tournament. You can't have it be like that. As exciting as that is, that's just, you have a team that wins 100 games, then they're out because they have one bad pitching performance, or they make one bad play.
No. You can never. No, that's why I'm all for having more games. If you're going to get rid of the bye, you make a longer series. You also I can understand that, but even then, if you add those teams without a bye, that's even more games being played. Like there's, I don't know. It has to be some type of advantage for the team to win the division, not just what you get one extra game at home. That doesn't even make sense. Like,
Yeah, and I
there's
think
no advantage to it. You have to have like, no matter what, whether or not you want the rest or don't want the rest, you need it. Like, I'm sorry, these pitchers are going to pitch better. Like, you'd rather have Scherzer right there with that bye. And
what do you
guys like
want to
that,
do? You want to get you?
Verlander.
Yeah. You want to give him an option? Give him an option. Braves. Hey, Braves. Do you want to buy? Or do you want to go play a
Can't
3-game
have an
series at
option.
home and then see if you can do? So what's so what are you going to
They
do?
will.
So
They'll take
obviously the
every day
buy
of the
is.
week. They'll take the buy.
Of course
every
they
day.
will. Of course they will.
I know.
Now, dude. Now I think
I like that we're talking about it. I
Yeah.
like that these underdog teams, the advantage, is it an advantage? Is it not an advantage? Maybe it is for some teams. Maybe it isn't. For
exactly.
others.
And you know what?
And then that's
you
the whole
go
point
into the
of advantage
playoffs.
is we can't even decide what's an advantage or not. So that means it's pretty level playing. You had the chance to go. You crushed it all year.
And
You
you-
get yourself a bye.
Yeah, exactly.
You're either smart enough or not smart enough in that week to get prepared or not. That's part.
And
of
you know
the
what? You go into the playoffs and you can't win a 3 out of 5. Then you know what? You're out. Too bad.
Yeah,
Too bad.
3 out of 5 is fine. I think it should go 3 out of 5, 7, 7.
And that's what it does. So that's the right way to now. I think I'm gonna be rooting for the Rangers tonight, and I like to see a Game 7. I think Bochy made a critical error starting Max Scherzer, and I think it's going to end up costing him the series. He thought he had a lot of wiggle room. He thought I could lose this game. He lost the game. He lost the next 2 at home. I think the Astros win tonight, and then I think the Phillies win. I don't think either game goes 7. Brett, who do you got?
I'm rooting for the underdogs. I wanted them to both go 7. I'm going to go totally opposite. I think they both go to Game 7, but I think both of those teams win in Game 7. I think it's
Both go to 7.
Philly. I think it both goes to 7. They probably, let me tell you, they're
What's the best World Series? What's the best World Series out of the 4? Out of the 4 teams still playing, what's the best matchup that we can get in the World Series?
I'm 100% in. As much as I don't want to see either team win,
I don't want to see Arizona. You want to see Arizona?
No,
Arizona,
Houston and Philly. No, Houston and Philly. I don't even care. Like the rest, I'm not a big Rangers or whatever. Like I want to see something exciting, and I don't know why. I think it's something about that ballpark in Houston.
Yeah,
the things just go.
You don't want to see.
Like there's no game that's locked up in that park.
Philly either. Philly's a bandbox.
No, and Philly's the same way. Like, so I think it's going to be a lot more. I'm all for exciting. I care less at this point who wins or who doesn't win.
Nobody
doesn't make it
wants to see. Nobody wants to see Rangers Diamondbacks. Let's be real. You're not watching that game ever. You're never watching nobody's ever getting excited for Rangers Diamondbacks tonight. Right?
No.
If I said, the Rangers Diamondbacks are on tonight, nobody's ever getting excited. Phillies, Houston, you get a little excited. Now, am I a bad person for kind of deep down rooting for Philly this year, and I don't know why it's happening? Am I a bad person?
Yeah. No, you are. You know what it is? You attached. It's not you, but like I see Philly and I get jealous. And I get jealous of the guys who are playing and it's not that they're of the team or I want nothing to do with Philly. I hate the colors. I hate the stadium. I hate the city. I hate everything about it. But when I see Harper and the way the nitty gritty, when I see Schwarber, when I see even like someone like Brandon Marsh, and I'm like, these guys are there for one reason. They don't care about the dancing in the club. They don't care about partying after the game. They're there to be nitty gritty, play baseball. It looks like 86 Mets, like Lenny Dykstra. Like those guys are there for one reason in this world, to win fucking baseball games. And that is so serious. Whereas the Mets are like out there to be on Instagram personalities and to become famous guys. And I'm telling you, it is guys who are there to work and grind and to win, and guys who are there to make themselves better for themselves. I'm telling you, that's what I see, and that's what I hate. That's what I love.
And it's like I fight it. Like I fight it internally, and I'm like, and I just find myself. It's like when you're like, I don't want to like this girl, and then you like her, and you're like, why? Why do I like this person? And then you're like, oh, but I do. It's kind of like that. I'm fighting myself internally.
But do you see, like, that's what the Mets teams, the best Mets teams we ever have, were you got to have heart. And the teams that were really came out of nowhere, that weren't expected to do anything. So now you put us this year in a spot where we're expected to do something and we do nothing. We don't even like that. We honestly would have been half okay.
Yeah, I'd rather be the underdog.
No, we don't even want to be that team. That's what they don't get. They thought that we want to be like this. Oh, and we want to be the guys who come through and now we're the underdog again. So we'll take
because then when you win, it's like, oh, you were expected to win. By the time the Yankees got to the 2001 Yankees, it was like,
because you work harder because you're not expected to. That's why you end up doing it. And these guys are working harder, and the Phillies are working harder than anybody else. And when they step up to the plate, you look, and the pitcher is nervous to pitch to Harper. They're nervous to pitch to Schwarber. They are just nervous in general to face this lineup. And that is a fear that they had. You can never change that. That will last the rest of the season for them. As long as their season lasts, everybody will be scared of them every appearance. And guess what? They still crush the freaking ball every time. It's unbelievable watching these teams step up in the most important games. It's like my favorite thing to watch. Now, I look and that people are like, oh, the Mets shouldn't have traded this and they shouldn't have traded that. And they could have worked their way into the back door, into the playoffs. I go, you might even be right. But let me tell you this, that team had no heart and had no chance of ever winning a playoff series. Ever. Because they're just not set.
The Mets? No, yeah.
No,
well, I mean, anybody can win a playoff series.
Even if they snuck into the back. No, but they had nothing. Like they didn't have a team. There's not, and like these guys are set up and like they are a team. Like the Phillies, the Astros, they are like absolutely doing everything it is to win these baseball games now. It's just great to watch.
So now we got Week 7, NFL, Giants, Commanders, Jets with the bye week after a big win last week over the Eagles. The Giants said you're going to have Tyrod Taylor again this week. And it sucked with the Giants. I mean, come on. We could have completed the whole New York thing. And Tyrod Taylor, thinking it's okay to run the ball at the 2-yard line with no timeouts and 15 seconds left. I mean, that's a bonehead. He can't make that play. He can't make that play.
After the first half of him, them blowing it in the first half too, doing exactly what the Jets did the week before.
Yeah, and there's no moral victories. No more. The Jets, I said, I got on the Jets and Jets fans against Kansas City because you know what? There's wins and there's losses, and that's it. There's no moral victories in the NFL. You lost.
They're talking. And
now they're 1-5.
They're talking serious long-term problems for Daniel Jones.
No, I heard the exact opposite. I heard the exact wait, who's your doctor? Where you seen this?
I'm hearing that they're worried about Daniel Jones.
Listen, I'd be worried about Daniel Jones too because he stinks. But I'm not about his neck. You're talking about his neck, right?
I'd be neck worried.
Listen, I think Tyrod Taylor handled the offense last week better than Daniel Jones did. But Tyrod Taylor's he's not the future. He's not the answer. I mean, he's older, but he's been a starter in the league. He had that good run with Buffalo. He went back to his home team last week, and then to make that bonehead play, running the ball. And why would you run the ball? And then even after it, you know what I don't even want to talk about. They lost the game. They should have lost. They should have got blown out. I would have felt better if it was 40-3 again. But today they got
first and goal. First have been first and goal at the 1.
Yeah, they got the Commanders. The Giants always seem to play when they need a win desperately. They always seem to play the Washington team. Okay, after Mara died, when Tiki got the big game to get him into the playoffs, they beat them. They always have a big game when they have to. Like Giants have to win this week. Okay, they're already talking trade rumors with Saquon. No, I think they do. I think they do. They're at home. The Giants now.
They're not winning.
We're in week 7. The Giants have won. The Giants have yet to score an offensive touchdown at home in the first half. Week 7. They have one touchdown at home in the whole season. It's a 103-yard pick six.
I think they get a touchdown today. I'll give you that. I will give you that. I'm almost positive. The Giants.
Barkley says he doesn't want to be traded. Yeah, I mean, what are you going to trade him for?
He's not going to be traded. No, you can't trade him. No, it's actually pointless because if you trade him, you're getting nothing. You're getting whatever it is, a 5th-round pick or something.
That's right. Yeah, at that point, what's the point?
Maybe a third. Maybe a third, something like that. But
if somebody's desperate, they'll give you a third. If somebody's desperate,
but if you don't trade him and you keep him, and you don't sign him next year, you get a third. You get a 3rd-round pick.
Oh yeah. You're right. Because the franchise tag, right?
So you can just
is that how it? Yeah. You just keep him. I agree. So someone's gonna have to come and blow you away,
right? Or yes, exactly. Or take the salary portions off of it. Like that's but it's not like. And plus, you already paid him for it. It just isn't even worth it. I'm telling you, it's like we talked about. There is no market for draft capital for any of these guys. For any of that. So I'm not saying a team shouldn't. Like you look what San Francisco did with CMC with Christian McCaffrey last year, and you look back and people lit them up for giving away everything they gave for Christian McCaffrey. And now you look back and go, oh my God, that's the greatest trade ever.
But they're a Super Bowl contender this year. The Giants are not going to be a Super Bowl contender this year or next year.
Right.
So-
They're not the the Giants aren't the 49ers in this situation. The Giants are the team trading from the 49ers.
Yeah,
You're right. But
yeah. You're right.
I don't know what you're dreaming of.
You're right.
The Panthers. Your Giants
Now,
are the
if-
Panthers.
Now, if you want to be optimistic about the Giants, okay, they win today. They're 2-5. The Jets game next week is clearly a winnable game for the Giants.
Going.
It's winnable for the Jets too. Okay, are
I'll
you?
be there.
You got to take it?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Where'd you get? Who you going with?
Friends from work, like would set it up a while ago. Yeah. I
They're
even know how many people
schmoozing
are
the
doing
boss.
about it.
Get a ticket for the boss.
I guess.
And then someone nobody do they? Let me ask you this: do they not want you to really go because you're the boss? Oh, the boss is coming.
No, it's the opposite. What's funny is the person who it's for is the person who was the boss before I was the boss. That's like it's like for her birthday, and it's
Because now she's back in the group. She's not the boss. She's not the
You're
boss
right.
anymore, so she's back in the group.
You're right. No.
You can't be friends. I don't want to hang out. I don't want to hang out with you, Brett. If you're the boss,
They
we
want me
can't
on
drink
this
as
wall.
much.
They
don't
me
know
on this
you.
wall.
They don't know you like I know you, but they're like, oh, can't drink because you're just the boss. I can't drink today. The
No,
boss gonna
I
be
don't-
there. He's gonna
nope,
take him a church.
I can't do that anymore in general. I got nothing in me left with that anyway. And I'm serious too. Like that, the last thing I'm going to do is have more than 2 drinks at any occasion ever anymore.
No, I'm talking about
I
them.
actually-
They can't drink because you're there. You're the boss.
They don't care for 1 second. No. They ain't like that at all. Well, it's actually a lot of people from Yapang too, so it's a little different crew. So it's not my.
I bet you're wrong. I bet you're just clueless. I bet you're just clueless in the whole situation.
you're wrong.
They don't want you there. You're the boss.
You're so far wrong. They're like begging. They love it. No, they're a good group. It's going to be, and it's a good split between Jets and Giants fans. Pretty good split. I think there's like a bus. I think we're taking like a bus. I don't even know. I really have no details. All I know is
Yeah, they didn't give you details because they don't want you to go.
No.
It was an invite. It was we gotta invite him. Invite him anyway. He won't go.
No, we set it all up. I was in the middle of like my dad talking.
Reprimands. You were writing reprimands for half of the guys.
I was like, I don't know if I can make it. And they were like, yeah, to come. No.
Like, what did he say? He's not going, right? Brett's not going, right? No, he's coming. He said he's gonna. He said he don't think he can make it, and she told him that he has to go, and now he's going.
There's probably not even tickets to a game. It's probably just me going alone. Like, where the
Just
hell
in the
is
front.
everybody?
I hope that's what it is.
I'm gonna force at least one of them to work. I'm gonna be like, oh, we're sure.
yeah. Might as well ruin the day.
I'm going. You got to stay.
Listen, we need you to cover the shift today. I don't know what to tell you. There's no. I can't be there. I'm going to the game.
We're at the game 50-yard line where, and I'm like, that's a write up.
That's why they don't want you to go. Right? You got to turn this down. You can't go. Don't ruin the day for your employees.
I wish.
I'll go with you if you want to go to the game. I'll get us tickets and we'll go to the game. I wouldn't go if I were you. I think you're ruining it to your employees.
Look.
That's one of the things when
look. As I speak, I got Riverhead calling me. Like there's a crisis.
they hear it. They're like. I bet they're gonna go.
If I answered on this right now, it'd be so bad.
They'd be like, listen to your co-host. Listen to your co-host. Okay, so now, Craig's at work. Did you go into the game with them? Now, the Jets with the bye week. Now, do you see they're 3-3? They're in the thick of the playoff race. It's not like they're right. That's the best you could hope for after what has happened to the Jets in the first 6 games, right? 3-3. You're in.
This was the point, and the whole point is that no matter as good as we can only expect Zach Wilson to be so good, but he will not be worse. He will continue to get slightly better, and he'll get more in tune with that offense, and he will figure out which is my go-to guy. And I think he is starting to figure that out. Now, I really believe that what they have, they're going to be just like they're going to be able to compete in any game versus anybody, and they're going to have to get lucky at the end of certain games to kind of keep themselves in that playoff hunt. But I can see him improving enough where he doesn't ruin it for the Jets, which I truly was my biggest fear a few weeks ago, is that we would be in these games and he'd ruin it at the last moment. So I truly
but the other team has ruined it. If they just run the ball up the middle on third down and punt it, he's not going 70 yards. He's not going 70 yards in the last 2 minutes.
I believe that, and you're going to have to get lucky. That's part of getting lucky. That is part of it. Is those stupid turnovers? It is a quarterback trying to force the ball. It's a guy holding on to it in that fumble late. That we should 4 turnovers versus the Bills. 4 turnovers versus that stuff doesn't happen.
Yeah, no.
And we need to.
So that's the only way you beat the
capitalize
Bills.
on those. Like we made those plays versus the Cowboys, but we didn't capitalize on those plays versus the Cowboys. So we need to continue to make those big plays, but not just make them. We need to start capitalizing. We cannot just do nothing with it, 3 and out, punt, field goal, or nothing. Like it has to be. I'm telling you, it's going to get a little bit better, and our schedule gets better. We just had one of the roughest starting schedules, and yes, we still have to play the Bills, and yes, we still have to play the Dolphins, but we get to play the Patriots, and we get to play the Giants, and we get to play a couple other teams who aren't right up there. But after we play the Eagles, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Bills, the Dolphins, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
We're going against the Cowboys. This was insane, the schedule leading up to it, and even like going against like the Broncos, which is another game that like there's a couple of easy ones, but no matter.
But it's nothing. You have to win next week. You have to win next week.
Have to beat.
You have to beat the Giants, and that's not going to be easy. This is the Giants Super Bowl, right? Giants are out of them playing for anything. And I said optimism. They win this to win next week. This is the Giants Super Bowl.
It's going to be a fight next week. It's not going to be some easy win for anybody. I don't care what happens. It's going to be like a 13-10 game.
And I think the Giants win today. Now, a report out of New England this week, Brett, is that the Patriots and Bob Kraft are looking to move on from Bill Belichick. What are your thoughts on that? Because you said he's going to coach for the next 150 years.
Well, the big thing
does he get another job?
He's the coach.
He's the coach and the GM. I know. Yeah, I know. But that's because what else is he going to be? He doesn't want someone else picking players.
I don't know Belichick enough. I have no clue. I really believe he was going to coach. I can't decide if it's going to be let me go start another NFL thing, or if it's like let me go be a Division II AA coach in the middle of nowhere.
Coach Prime? If he knew the new Coach Prime?
Yeah, but Prime was trying to get to more. I'm talking like that's where I'm going and I'm not leaving. There's a whole bunch of coaches who like kind of do, or they run like a high school. Like they like that.
Yeah. Yeah, so I agree.
So I do.
But how?
I don't know if it's a tough take for him to say rebuild, but what's the difference? He's already rebuilding in New England. He loves.
Listen, as far as I'm concerned, it's a bad look for, first of all of Boston. The fact that they're booing this team and they're booing Belichick and they want Belichick out because that's what they want up there. And the fact that Kraft is even like leaking stories, somebody's leaking stories that they're looking to move on from Belichick. Are you kidding me? You telling me he didn't build up enough capital in 25 years of basically winning Super Bowl after Super Bowl after Super Bowl, undefeated regular seasons as the best franchise in all sports? He didn't build up enough capital to have 2 bad seasons. Come on.
Has put a bad taste in their mouth. Do you know what it is with winning? You accept
they're spoiled.
They're
spoiled.
You expect when you win, you can put up with certain coaches being nasty or having certain ways of going. It doesn't matter. The guy ends up winning and producing. And now what I think he's rough. I don't think he's fun to play for. We've all known that. Everybody's always known
he's not.
Belichick way.
But he won for 25 years in a row. I'm talking about the fans. The fans don't care.
No, I know you're exactly right, but at the same time, it comes down to something about they don't think they might be able to rebuild with him. It's something that when it was running great, he's the perfect captain, but as a rebuild and to get new guys to come in and to all of a sudden start from scratch and have a new philosophy, he's never going to do that. He's going to do his philosophy and continue to run.
He's Vince Lombardi, Brett.
I understand.
He's Vince Lombardi.
But how many years do you think the Packers at a certain point are going to let Vince Lombardi, but he's got dementia over in the corner and they don't want him?
Yeah, obviously at some point, but Brett, it's 1 year. It's 1 year. You won 6 Super Bowls.
No, I think you should. I'm saying this is what I think they're about to do is let him go, but I truly believe they should let him ride this out. I think he should get 5 years. I think he should get 5
He's earned that.
Years.
He's earned that.
As many years as he wants, because you could go not win for the next decade and you're still the most decorated team going.
Yeah, because you know what? Because they're spoiled brats up there now. They used to be the lovable losers up there in Boston. The Red Sox. The Patriots were always terrible, us growing up. They had the Celtics who had their dynasties and stuff. But Boston was terrible for sports for the most part of our lives. So that's the most part of these fans' lives. Now it's the golden age.
Yeah.
Now it's over. They had the Bruins. They had the Red Sox win multiple titles. They had the Celtics win multiple titles. Now, one bad year, and they've already kick out Bill Belichick, who's Vince Lombardi. Come on, that's ridiculous. So now, real quick, Brett, I could just give you a couple winners here. Deshaun Watson is playing for the first time in the month. He's questionable for Cleveland, Indianapolis. Who do you got?
What's the spread? It's Cleveland like
-3.
-3.
Cleveland -3. Cleveland.
It's a tough one because Indianapolis is just so bad that I don't like Deshaun Watson. I'm going with Indianapolis. Give me the points.
Now they're screaming at you to pick the Bills here. Bills in New England. Bills minus 3.5. They're begging you to pick them. That's one that I say, what's up with that line? What's up with that?
You should say what's up with that, and most likely just based on the line, I'd say I guess New England's going to play pretty good today, but no.
Well, that's what Vegas thinks. No, me neither.
I don't. Give me Bills. Give me the Bills. Give me the Bills and the points. Minus.
You know the Bills. win 21-19 on a field goal at the gun. Giants, Washington Giants, and then Giants are a 2.5 point underdog at home against the Commanders, which are not very good. Yeah, okay.
It's Washington,
and then the big game tonight, where we got the Miami Dolphins and the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia. Is that game right yet? In Philadelphia, Dolphins 4-point underdog.
Whew.
I like Philly. I like Philly for the Dolphins +4.
I don't. After watching what Philly's defense is capable of last week, watching the Dolphins offense going against that, I don't. I think that it's going to be a high-scoring game because the Dolphins' defense is also kind of sucks. But no, Dolphins.
Dolphins. Okay. I think Miami's played a weak schedule. I don't think they're as good as advertised. I think they got a real good offense. I think the Eagles have a real good defense.
Yeah,
and I like Philadelphia in that one.
I see that, but I don't think Philly's. I think you're right, but I think you're right in the same way about both teams. I think Philly's the same thing. I think they just exposed them last week, and if you look back on the previous weeks, they're not blowing teams out like that. I don't think Philly's going to be. I think two teams that are overrated in certain ways, like they have lack.
They're both going to be in the playoffs.
Their offenses are going to beat each other up, so it's going to be take the over, skip everything else, and take the over.
Okay, good point. All right, so that does it for us. Enjoy the games, everybody. We got baseball game 6. Brett thinks both go to 7. I think neither go to 7. Giants, I got the Giants. I think Tyrod Taylor has a good day. I think it's going to be an ugly game. Watch for a bunch of knockdown passes for the Giants at the line of scrimmage because this kid, the quarterback Hal for the Redskins is no good. I think Barkley has a big game because of all the talk. I think the Giants win 28-17. I think they score 4. An offensive explosion for the New York Giants today in about an hour. For baseball tonight, Houston and Texas Rangers, game 6. Brett, enjoy the baseball. Enjoy the game next week. Next week we got Halloween. We got a Halloween party to go to, Brett, next week.
Yeah,
expect to see you dressed up here.
Halloween party, and then the next day I get Jets Giants, so I got to keep it together.
Oh man, I can't believe it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry to all the workers at the jail. I tried to get them out.
I might be off. I got to call them now. Sorry.
All right. So for Brett Grasso, I'm Bob Walters. Enjoy the games, everybody. We'll talk to you on Tuesday. See ya.